Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to give you another comparison battle video, and this time it's going to be Mixbook versus Flipchap. If you follow my blog and you've seen my top 5 favorite lay flat photo book videos, then you know that I featured both of these companies in that video. So obviously they're both dear to my heart and I love both of these books. But I really wanted to show you a comparison because there are big differences between the two. And this video might make it easier for you to decide which one is closer to your needs and which is the best choice for you. The two books are not 100% in the same category. So if you know Mixbook, they are really famous about their editor. So these books are consumer mid-range books, I would say. And the whole point of Mixbook is to be able to create a book very quickly that looks really, really good in their editor. And then these books are quite simple. They're really high quality, but they're quite simple. If you look at them, it's just a cover and very, very few options to choose inside the book. And it's basically out of the box, that's what you get. So there's not too much to think about when you make these books. Flipchap, on the other hand, is kind of a hybrid between mid-range and high-end books. And the reason why I say that is everything they do is high-end, apart from one thing: the print is not silver halide at the moment, and most expensive flush mount books all have silver halide printing. So that's the only thing that differentiates this book from the very expensive top of the range books. So they provide you everything that you could get with a very expensive $500 book, but for the price of $150. And you can choose every little detail of these books. You have hundreds of cover combinations and options and so many high-end materials to choose from to make this book truly unique and one of a kind. In the comments to my previous comparison videos, you guys were asking me to come up with a scoring system so it's much easier to decide which one is better, since in the past videos I just announced a winner in all categories but not an overall winner for the photo book battle. I still think that it's quite difficult to come up with such a scoring system, but I want to listen and I want to follow your advice. So from this video on, I'm going to introduce a scoring system which is going to give you a final total for both books, and hopefully that should give you an idea which is the best value for money. Also, don't forget that the final score is not going to be always the only thing you have to look at, because you all have different needs for photo books. So in the very end, I'm going to give you tips for which one to choose when. Just a few disclaimers to start off. As always, this is not a paid video. This one is just based purely on my personal opinion. Each book is going to be given a score of 1 to 5, with 5 being the best in each category. And then in the end, the book with the highest score is going to be the winner. So I'm going to go into my upload shots now and show you how the books compare in the following categories. I'm going to do sizes, covers, binding, papers, print quality, editing, extras, and the final full price. So let's start with the sizes. Mixbook offers 4 sizes, 3 square sizes and 1 landscape. The square sizes come in 8x8, 10x10 and 12x12 inches, so you've got small, medium and large, and the landscape is only one size, which you can see here is 11x8.5 inches. Flipchap offers the same book in 8 different sizes. You've got 3 landscape, 7x5, 11x8 and 14x10 inches. This one is the 11x8 inches. You've got 3 square sizes, 6x6, 8x8 and 10x10 inches, and 2 portrait sizes, 5x7 and 8x11 inches. So easy to see, Flipchap has a lot more sizes in more orientations, so Mixbook is going to get 3 points and Flipchap is going to get 5 points for the sizes. Let's move on to the covers. Mixbook lay flat books come with only one cover, and that is an image wrap hardcover soft touch matte finish. So the one you can see here. So as you can see, the cover is a picture all around. You can have any design you want on this cover, on the front, on the spine and on the back as well. It's really, really smooth. As you can see, there's no shine to it at all. It's completely matte. When we come to Flipchap, they have a plethora of amazing cover materials, and you can mix and match between them and create fusion covers as well. So the one here is a leatherette fusion cover, which as you can see is a mixture of leatherette. So this is a white leatherette cover finish, and it also has a photo on the front and it has gold embossing. I'm going to show you very quickly the options you've got for the covers. So here is a swatch kit. and we can start with the linen materials. So you've got 29 linen colors, all of these, and 13 leather colors, as you can see here. Very nice texture. And you can also have a printed hardcover just like Mixbook, and it comes in glossy and matte. So this one is the glossy, and you can also have it in matte. If you look at the Flipchap covers, you can see how much attention was put into the details. They're beautiful, really well handcrafted photo albums. So here you can see the difference between the consumer end and the high end. The first sign is always in the cover, how the book looks, how is it presented. So for this reason, I'm going to give Mixbook 3 points because it's a nice cover, but there's only one option. And I'm going to give Flipchap 5 points because you have so many amazing options for the cover and they can all be combined as well. Let's move on to the binding. Mixbook is seamless lay flat, as you can see. So let me start paging it. So as you can see, it stays completely flat and it is printed as a double sheet, so not as a double-sided page. Now, most lay flat books are not bordered, they're just stuck together, but Mixbook pages are really, really thick. As you can see, you can bend them slightly, but it's hard to bend it. Let me just give you a few more layouts. It's really good for double page spreads, panoramic shots like this one, because there's no break anywhere in the photo or in the layout. And then the book starts right on the first page and it finishes the same way, but here you've got a double page white sheet and you've got the Mixbook logo in the bottom, which to my knowledge you cannot have removed at the moment. Now if you look at this from the top, you can see how the spine looks. So you can see how thick the pages are. This book I think is around 50 or 60 pages and you can see how thick it is. So technically it's a flush mount album because it's bordered, but it's not marketed as a flush mount album, it's marketed as a lay flat book. Flipchap is very similar to Mixbook, but it starts with a beautifully textured paper, for which you can choose the color, by the way, and then there we go, the book. It's printed using the same technology, so the pages are printed on double spreads, which are then stuck together and mounted onto board. Now, these pages are a lot thicker. I have to really try to bend it. So it's a lot thicker, which means that you can have less pages in your book. So this one is, I think, 30 pages and it's the same thickness as the Mixbook for 60 pages. So here are the two next to each other. So the Flipchap is half the amount of pages as the Mixbook. And there you can see how much thicker it is. Now what you can also see is that there is a little headband on the top, which is a very nice touch. You've got the headband in the bottom as well, and you can choose the color for that too. So you've got so much option for personalization. And then when you get to the end, you've got the same texture double sheet, but there's no branding anywhere on the book, and it finishes. So as you can see, both books are really well bound. They're using very, very similar technology, but Flipchap is a lot thicker. Oh, and I forgot to say that you can choose the color of the board. It can either be black or white. So both are really good. And the only reason why I'm giving Mixbook 4 points and Flipchap 5 points is because Flipchap has a bit more options for personalization when it comes to binding. Let's move on to the paper option. Mixbook offers 2 paper options now, to my big happiness. For a long time they only had a matte text stock for the lay flat books, which is the one you can see here in this book. So it is a matte paper, and then if you look at the texture, I will show you a picture here. It is a little bit similar to uncoated papers. It is a matte text stock, so it's not exactly a photographic paper. It doesn't look like luster and it doesn't look like high gloss. It's a nice paper stock, but it wouldn't be my first choice. If I had an option, I would always go for luster or high gloss. Last year they introduced the lustrous finish, which I was really happy about because I kept moaning about the lack of paper options for years in my reviews. And the luster paper option is very similar to this. It has a little bit more sheen and it has a very, very subtle pearly texture. The Flipchap HD albums are printed on an HP professional satin paper. Now, the satin is similar to luster, but it's not as textured. And then you have 2 options for lamination. You can either have it high gloss or matte. I chose high gloss in this case, and let me try to show you the texture of the paper. So you can see the high gloss obviously, but underneath the high gloss, if you look really, really well, you can see a very subtle, almost like a glittery texture. and that's the surface of the HP Professional Satin paper. So you've got two options again. You've got the high gloss, you've got the matte, so very similar to Mixbook. This photo paper is again not the same as a silver halide photography. Luster paper or high gloss, it's not exactly the same, and for that reason I'm going to give 4 points for both Mixbook and Flipchap, because although they have the same two options, none of them offer silver halide photographic papers, which would be ideal with these kind of books, with lay flat albums. Also, let me mention the maximum page count. With Mixbook, you can go up to 99 pages, and with Flipchap, since the pages are so much thicker, you can go up to 40 pages. Let's move on to the print quality. Mixbook is using HP Indigo printers to my knowledge, and as you know, these printers are quite good with colors and highlights and shadows. As you can see, this book is quite nicely exposed, very vivid. However, sometimes it's very interesting with some of my Mixbook books. I noticed some oversaturation, and with some of them it was more balanced, but the quality was not always consistent. If you look at this book as well, you can see that it's a little bit oversaturated. But you know, the oversaturation sometimes looks good with some photos, but not so good with others, especially when it comes to skin tones and portrait pictures. When you oversaturate them, they're going to look very unnatural. But overall, for a digital book, I think it is really good. Flipchap is printing its books using digital methods as well. However, the books are not all printed on the same printer. If you go for the standard album, it's going to be printed on a chroma printer, which is using toners. And if you go for the HD one, it's going to be printed on the new HP DesignJet Z9, which is basically an inkjet printer of the new generation. So this book is the HD, and what I noticed compared to the Mixbook and compared to the standard lay flat book is that the picture is a lot smoother and it's a lot sharper at the same time, which means that the image is still made up of tiny little dots, but they're a lot less visible, and it looks more like silver halide, so you get a more continuous transition of tones. But at the same time, I noticed that the book is a little bit oversaturated as well. So this green should not be that green, and if you look at the skin tones again, it's a little bit too strong. So the same issue as with Mixbook, however, these prints are a lot smoother and a lot sharper. So if I had to give a point to the chroma, I would give a 3.5, and for the HD I would give a 4.5, but because I'm giving an overall score, I'm going to give 4 points for Flipchap and 4 points for Mixbook as well. Number 6, editing. Mixbook is really famous for its editor. It's one of those editors which has been evolving for so many years, and it's probably one of the most user-friendly and funkiest, most creative editors out of the box. It's an online editor, and when you start creating a book, you'll notice that they have so many pre-made templates for entire books. When you click on a template, you can preview the book with stock images, which is so much better than looking at blank layout, because you can imagine how the book is going to look when you actually insert your pictures into it. So these are the layouts that I selected from Mixbook templates, and obviously you can customize them in any way you want to. You can add text, you can add elements, you can move the photos any way you want to. You have these amazing masks and shapes that you can put your photos into. You have lots of stickers, so it really looks like scrapbooking, and the possibilities are endless. I absolutely love this, and I can always make a photo book in less than 15 minutes and it's always going to look good. The only thing you need to know is that there is no offline editing option at the moment, and you can't use any pro apps like Adobe or anything offline, and you can't upload your books in a PDF format. So you have to use their online editing software. Flipchap's editor has come a long way. The first time I tried it, I think a year ago, was still in its beta stage. It had lots of bugs, and most of those have been corrected. However, I created this book a month ago, and I still noticed a couple of little bugs, so it didn't matter which browser I was using, whether it was Chrome or Safari. Sometimes it didn't save what I was doing, and when I moved pictures, they kind of moved back to the previous position and I had to do it again. I don't know what causes that. but it doesn't happen all the time, it's just very rare. But at the same time, they added a lot more features. You can use more templates now. There are stickers as well that you can use. This is basically how the book looks. Now, when you look at these templates, you can instantly see that Flipchap is focusing on high quality photographs as opposed to the scrapbooking style of photo book making or editing. It's a lot more basic than Mixbook, but if you use it for wedding albums, then that's all you need. This one is of course an online editor as well. They don't have an offline editor and they don't have an app for your smartphone at the moment. The points I'm going to give are 4 points for Mixbook because it's one of my favorite editors, and for Flipchap I'm going to give 2 points because there are still some bugs. It's nowhere near as creative as Mixbook, and they don't have an offline editor or a smartphone app either. So let's go to the extras. Mixbook unfortunately doesn't come with any extras. There are no boxes, nothing, not even a matching product. So hopefully in the near future they're going to introduce at least a gift box. However, when you go to Flipchap, they come with a plethora of extras and free gifts as well. So to start with, all of these books can come with a box. If you don't buy a box, you will get a free box from Flipchap, but if you want to buy a box, you've got the option for so many materials. So this is the box that my book came in, as you can see, and all of these books can be matched to their boxes. So all of the materials I showed you in the cover section can be chosen for the box as well to make sure that it matches the book. So this box is a leatherette box, as you can see. So it has the same title, and when you open it, this is how the book comes out with this lovely ribbon, snugly fits in. You also have the option to have a USB stick with your photos, and on the other side you can even have a DVD with your photos and a picture on it. Apart from this, you're also going to get a selection of freebies, which are a signature thing to Flipchap. So you're going to get some prints, you're going to get bookmarks, you're going to get a mini book, a calendar and a dust jacket for your book, which is going to be a matrix of your photos from the book. So for this reason, I'm going to give Mixbook 0 points because they have no extras, and Flipchap I'm going to give 5 points because they have extras to purchase and they also give you extras as a free gift. Final thing to talk about is the full price. A 10 by 10 inch lay flat book by Mixbook is going to cost you $111, and the same size lay flat book by Flipchap is going to cost you $114. So the price is almost exactly the same, $3 difference. And what you need to know is that both companies offer regular deals and discounts. So they go from 30 to 50% off. Mixbook usually gives you a much bigger discount than Flipchap, so for that reason you can get the book slightly cheaper than Flipchap, but at the same time with Flipchap you're going to get a box and free gifts, so that's included in the price, and the dust jacket as well. For this reason I'm going to give Mixbook 4 points and Flipchap 4 points as well. The reason why they're not getting 5 points is because it's still a little bit expensive given the fact that none of these companies offer Silverlight printing. So we got to the end of the video. I hope it was helpful to you and you can see now the differences between the two books and the two companies. Based on the final score, the winner is Flipchap. I think overall it gives you more for your money, but as I promised, I'm going to give you tips now which book to choose for which specific needs. If you want a very easy editor that's going to give you a book out of the box very quickly and without any headache, go for Mixbook. They have one of the best editors in the world. If you like a luster finish, again go for Mixbook because Flipchap doesn't have a lustrous finish right now. If you want a longer book, which is going to be more than 40 pages, you have loads of photos and you don't want to break it down into many books, then again go for Mixbook because their books go up to 99 pages, whilst Flipchap is only 40 pages at the moment. If you like handcrafted things and unique products, then go for Flipchap as you can personalize it to the finest detail. If you like a box or a nice presentation that's going to look good under the Christmas tree or for any occasion, again go for Flipchap because they have so many extras and different boxes that you can choose from. For wedding packages, portfolios and wedding albums, again I would suggest Flipchap because it looks a bit more high-end and it would be a better fit for expensive photo shoots. And finally, if you love amazing covers and you love choices, then go for Flipchap because they have so many cover options that you can combine as well, and you can make your book truly unique. If I forgot to talk about anything, or if you have any more questions, leave them in the comments box under the video and I try to answer them. Make sure to check out Mixbook and Flipchap's website. And don't forget, I have a new Instagram account, The Photobook Guru. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, subscribe for more.